Hello everybody, my name is Ananya and in this video we are going to talk about 5 metaphors that really changed my life. Today we discuss the part 2 of the book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by Shunru Suzuki, and that talks about the right attitude. What should be the attitude? So in the first part we discussed what should be the practice, how it should be done. In the second part we discuss what should be the right attitude of the practice. And the key takeaway, or like to put it in one line, it would be that once you start practicing Zazen, everything that you do in your life becomes a Zen practice. You start approaching it with the Zen attitude. But before you get there, they have given us some guidelines about communication, about yourself, about the attitude of giving. How do you approach those until you reach that state? And the book has beautiful metaphors. So I'm going to use 5 metaphors from the book and I'm going to talk to you about 5 key takeaways from the book. Even though I'm discussing only 5, the book has a lot to offer. So I've summarized everything in the form of notes and I've made them available for all of you for free. The link will be in the description and you can download it from there. You can view it. It's very simple to read. It's very summarized, but it covers all the points which we are not covering in the video. In the video, I'm covering my favorites and I'm trying to explain what is explained in the book in my way. So let's get into the video. So the first point to understand is that the metaphysical explanations of humans or of nature of this reality are none of our concerns. We are just concerned about knowing how to get to enlightenment. And this is explained by the beautiful metaphor of a bread. Exactly. We are not concerned about what is the bread, what is the oven. We are just concerned about the practice of making a bread. Like diving right deep in. Because everything else, it's not necessary. Because everything else, the understanding of everything else is futile because it's just emptiness, according to the book. So when you get into the process of understanding practice, how do you do that? By repeating the process, one, and observing the process. Like whenever you're sitting for your practice, you become extremely aware of the process and you observe it, and that is how you do it. So that's the bread metaphor for you. Now, the second point that the book gives us is of a pine tree. You know how these mountains are filled with these beautiful pine trees. And when we go there, we feel so poetic, we feel so light, we feel so fresh, and we want to write poetries about it, we want to write poems, like draw paintings and everything. And then if you just ask the tree or if you just look at the tree, what is it doing? It is just existing. It is not putting in any extra effort. It is not trying to make itself beautiful for you, but it is just beautiful because it is just enjoying its being. And that is the example that the book gives us about how we should view ourselves. There might be a lot of people who come to us who tell us that, you are doing this practice. Oh my God, you're amazing. We love you. You're so inspiring. But for us, we should not think that we are special. Neither we should force any particular effort. We should just be, just like pine tree, just existing. And if someone wants to write a poetry, someone wants to get inspired by us, someone wants to compliment us, that's up to them. But we are just existing. We are just being a pine tree. The first point was about what we should be concerned about in our practice. And the second point was about what should be the attitude towards ourselves. And now the third point is that while we are practicing Zen, how our communications should be. So the book says that any communication about any subject should just be like wishing somebody good morning. When you wish somebody good morning, hey, how are you? You're not expecting anything out of it. You're not trying to prove that my good morning is better than your good morning or my good morning is right than and your good morning is wrong. But you're just wishing them. You're so detached with that conversation. You're not trying to make a point. You're not attaching your ego towards it. That is the Zen attitude of approaching the communication. You detach yourself, you let go of your ego, and you stop trying to make a point. Because when you are truly trying to have a conversation, you have to go in it without any judgments, without any preconceived knowledge, without any attachment to yourself or your opinion. That is when you're truly listening, right? Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're going to take only the parts of that conversation which resonate with you, and nothing new is going to come up. A new perspective will not develop for you. You are just going to start finding beliefs which reaffirm your ego, right? Because you're already coming from a place of preconceived notion. So whenever someone says something that you agree with, you will be like, okay, this person's right. And he is saying the same thing, so we two of us. But if someone says a wrong thing or a different thing, you're not ready to listen. Because why? Because you're attaching yourself to ego. You're so close. You're going in with a sense of judgment. You're going in with a sense of preconceived notion, and that is not going to help you. The Zen attitude of communication is to just approach every conversation like you're wishing somebody a good morning. The fourth point that we're discussing is about giving. So now when we are giving, what should be the attitude? If you realize the creation or the magnitude of this world, of this universe, anything that you're giving out is not truly yours. It has already existed. You have just become a medium to give it out. If you realize the expanse of nature, you will just realize that whatever you're giving is so small. And awareness of that smallness in relation to or in comparison to what the God has given you or what the creation has given you, the universe has given you, if you have that awareness always, it will keep you very humble. That should be the attitude while giving. Like, we have not created anything. I have not created anything. It is already there. I'm just a medium. I'm just giving it out. And not to remember, not to attach yourself with anything that you're giving out of like, I've done this, I've done that, I have achieved a certain way, I have achieved a certain amount of money, and I'm giving it out. And when you give with that attitude of non-detachment, of not associating with the I, right, then it becomes true giving. And in that attitude, even a statement of teaching, even a statement of advice becomes an act of God, an act of giving. The second part of giving bit is what you're giving into the practice, right? If you're sitting for Zen, right, if you're sitting for your practice and you are thinking that, okay, my spouse is sleeping and I am sitting here practicing Zen, so I am better. Like, even when you're giving to the practice or giving in something to build yourself, that also, when it comes with a sense of superiority, is futile. You have made the practice impure, right? Because how does it make it better? How does it make you better? When we are saying that Zen is just a state of being, then a person who's sleeping while you are practicing Zen is also being Zen, and you are being Zen too. You are developing that awareness. That person might already have that awareness, or while sleeping, they're already going through that awareness. So, giving outside and giving inside both need to detach from the ego. Then only it is true giving in the Zen attitude. And now, finally, moving to my favorite metaphor, nirvana. And it is being compared to a waterfall. How, when a waterfall is falling from the top and it is touching the river at the bottom, while in the state of that falling, there are some droplets that come out, right? So the comparison is, or the metaphor is, that this reality, this existing, is just us being the droplets. There was a state of stillness, there was a state of nothingness in the stillness of the river before we started falling. And there will be a stillness after us, right? There will be a stillness after death. But right now, we are just in that state of falling, just like a waterfall, and we are detached water droplets. So we have come from a state of stillness, we are going to go to a state of stillness. And while we are here, we should just have a good time. This is just a beautiful metaphor to experience this reality, to maintain a certain kind of awareness throughout our experience. And just because we are being that droplet, we are having a lot of fears, we are having a lot of anxieties, attachments. But if we are aware that we have come from that still river and we are going towards that still river, we will just, enjoy our ride. This has been one of my most beautiful takeaways from the book. And I guess the second part of the book, which has so many metaphors, it really made it worth it. So again, just to remind you, there will be free notes available for all of you in the description below, and you can go through it. It's the entire summary of the second part and the first part together. And if this was of some value to you, if this added some value to your life, or if this gave you a new perspective, I would request you to subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you so much. In the next video, we will discuss the third part of the book, which will be the last part, and then we will be starting with the next book. If you have any recommendations, if you have any ideas on which one should we pick up next, please drop it in the comments below. Thank you.